Hello there, family.
Hi, guys.
I didn't see you there.
What's up?
And welcome back to another edition of Midweek Moment with the Crenshaws. I am your host, Sanchez Crenshaw, and as always, I am joined by the absolute best part of my day.
I am.
The apple of my eye.
I am again.
The wind beneath my wings. The rib that completes me.
You completed. You're
I'm
completed. You're completed.
The Marie to my Frank.
No.
What do you mean no?
The answer's no.
How do you mean no? What do you mean the answer is no?
I don't know Marie.
You didn't even think about it.
Marie and Frank. Okay.
So it's the
Frank Sinatra.
No, it's the parents.
Gone with the Wind.
No, it's the parents. They have two sons. Older son is a cop. Younger son is a family man with twins.
Nope, it's not ringing a bell.
Everybody loves their son.
Well, of course I know it ain't everybody hate Chris, so I know that.
I didn't say everyone hates their son. I said everyone loves their son.
Nope, don't know this one.
It's really simple. It's actually in everything I just told you.
That don't help me know the answer.
Everybody loves Raymond.
I didn't watch that. You act like, baby. So you telling me you watch Everybody Loves Raymond?
Yes, I did watch everyone. Remember, it was the parents, his parents. They lived right across the way.
The one brother was tall.
Yeah,
he was a cop.
he played Herman Munster.
Raymond was a little short one.
Well, he wasn't short.
Well, he was shorter than
his brother. Yeah,
yeah. But I've never watched this. I wouldn't know those.
Yeah,
names.
with Marie, she was always intruding and always thought she was right and always giving her opinion, even when it wasn't asked for.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
But I love you though.
I love you as well.
I love you.
I
need to fix your hair.
What's wrong with my hair?
Because it is like sticking. It's good now.
It was my hair though.
No, for real. Like this time, for real, I wasn't trying to take over. I wasn't trying to take over, but it was doing something weird that it normally doesn't do. Okay.
Small question.
Yes.
You're gonna tell the family your name.
Oh, sorry. What's going on, family? What is going on, guys? I am Angela Crenshaw, guys. What is going on?
What's going on, family?
Hi, family. I need to make an announcement.
Oh Lord, we make an announcement.
Yes, we make an announcement.
Go right ahead, make your announcement.
I got on a moo-moo.
Yeah, family, she does.
I do, because I'm doing a moo-moo moment later on today, but I got on a moo-moo. I just wanted y'all to know.
Yeah, family, she
so
does.
y'all be like, why she look frumpy or whatever? I don't.
So for our YouTube family, you'll be able to see that, yes, my wonderful wife has on a moo to the moo.
A moo to the moo.
I'm still not a fan.
Good. I feel good in the moo moo.
I'm glad you feel good.
Thank you.
I am totally not a fan of the moo moo, but we've already expressed that multiple occasions.
It's okay.
But as long as you're a fan, as long as you're comfortable,
I feel good.
I guess I have no say so.
Nope, not in the moo moo. Not in the moo moo.
So can I finish the introduction?
I did say my name.
You did.
I did. Okay.
You did.
Okay, do your thing. I'm gonna talk to the family.
So family, welcome. We welcome you. However you're listening, whether it's on iTunes, whether it's Podbean, whether it's Spotify, whether it's Google Podcasts, whether it's Amazon Music, whether it's iHeartRadio, or on our own personal website at www.thecrenshawcorner.com.
Yes.
And it's previously mentioned, YouTube as well.
With you guys. Hello.
So family, welcome. So if you're watching us on YouTube, please make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, and click that notification bell to be notified when new videos are being uploaded.
Are you sure it's not saying Bing?
I don't believe it says Bing, baby. I've never heard it say Bing.
Bing. I think it. Go ahead.
It does not.
Okay.
For our returning family members, you already know how we feel about you.
What's up?
There is an extraordinary
We appreciate you so much.
place in our heart for you.
We do.
We appreciate you. We thank you. We're just so honored that you are part of this journey.
Yes, we are.
It means so much to us. Now, for our new family members, please don't misunderstand.
We love you.
We love you as well.
We appreciate you.
But there's just something about the returning family members.
What's up, returners?
You just go yell at them?
Yes, I'm trying not to cough.
You just go yell at the family
I was
members.
trying to get my throat ready. I'm sorry, guys. And I didn't want to cough.
So
But I had to do the yelling part.
I see that.
They're important.
So we love
important.
We love all of the family members.
Yes,
we truly do. And then, if always, welcome to the cookout. Please make sure you bring some aluminum foil so you can what, babe?
Take something with you guys.
So you can take something with you. That's right.
Take something with you. And also,
what's up, baby?
Our new family members, if you're trying to figure out like, hey, how did I become a new family member? Number one. And two, what else can I do? You're listening to us right now. So you did it. You're a family member. And guess what? If you listen to us again, guess what you're going to be?
You're a returning family member at that
You're
point.
a returning family member. It's easy. It's
yes,
simple.
You are.
It's not even deep. It's not
we
deep.
We try not to overcomplicate your life is what we do, family. And then we consider ourselves an interactive podcast.
We are.
Which means we can be found on the socials.
Yes.
We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter.
Tweet.
We're on Facebook.
And we're bookers.
All under Crenshaw Corner.
Yes, we are.
And of course, you can email us at any time at thecrenshawcorner@gmail.com.
I like when you say that.
Once again, thecrenshawcorner@gmail.com.
I like it.
Now, family, typically at this point, I would turn it over to my wife. I'd be like, babe, what are we talking about? Because typically until I hit record on either the phone and or the roadcaster, I have no idea what we're talking
This is
about.
all you.
But actually, this one, family,
this is all him, guys.
I have something to bring to the table.
So
family,
proud. So I'm gonna sit back and relax.
Just a little bit of setup.
Okay.
So we are in the process of recording what we feel are some really great episodes.
Yes.
So it's some couples that we're talking to. It's from my wife's point of view, it's some wonderful women that she's speaking to.
This is true.
And then from my point of view, it's some wonderful men that I had the opportunity to sit down and speak with. That's awesome. Family, you will hear these episodes throughout the month of what is this? October. Throughout the month of October, going into November. But during one of the recordings, one of the gentlemen that I was sitting down and talking to said something that I thought was so profound. And family, you will hear this episode. We'll let you know when this episode is going to come out, so you'll get a lot more context to what he said.
This was your men's session.
This is the men's session.
Okay.
This is the men's session.
Episode or session, however we want to call it. Yeah.
And throughout the conversation, he brought up a topic of invisible boundaries. And within the invisible boundaries, he talked about how that he would put himself in a position that he would get upset with his wife or get upset with someone for crossing a boundary that he never discussed with them.
Or never even set up.
That he never even set up.
I'm asking that he never even set up?
Yeah, that he never even set up.
Wow. Okay.
And then so it would bring strife into the marriage or bring, discord into the marriage over a boundary that they never had a conversation about.
Wow.
So what I wanted to do during our midweek moment is that I actually wanted to have a conversation with you about boundaries.
Wow.
About do you have boundaries? Do the people around you know what those boundaries are? And do you get upset if those boundaries are crossed, but yet you've never had a conversation with that person about the boundaries?
That's good. That's good. I'll say this, which is crazy, but I have boundaries. Absolutely. I do have boundaries. But it seems like I have boundaries with people like I work with, and I enforce them. I don't know what's going on with my voice, guys. I'm so sorry. Boundaries with, like I said, coworkers, or boundaries with outside people, right? But it seems, and I stick to them. I stick to my guns. I don't play that, right? But it seems like the boundaries that I have with my family, sometimes I think they're invisible as well. Okay. And then also sometimes I don't think I stick to them. Right. Right. And I don't know what that's about, but I do know that I the boundaries sometimes begin to move sometime, right? Or I would get an attitude because I'm like, okay, you should know better, or like we've had this discussion before, or like he said, just not even telling them that that's a boundary until they cross it, and then I'm angry, mad, or treating them a certain type of way. If that makes sense. Yeah, and then at that point, they don't understand why you're upset. Why you're upset over something that you've never told me. Exactly. Yeah, do you? Yeah, I do. But I think for me, I think I have more invisible boundaries than actual boundaries. And here's what I mean by that. And even before we get into that, let's kind of discuss one thing real quick, because I think everyone kind of understands the concept of boundaries. Right. But I think what happens is that we think about the big boundaries. Right. We think about don't put your hand on me. Right. Don't call me out of my name. Don't violate me. Things of that nature. But I think it's the little boundaries that we overlook sometimes and we don't talk about. Okay. And we don't have those conversations. Okay. I don't like when you have a certain tone with me, or I don't like when you say a certain thing to me, or I don't like that you always call me when you need help, but I never can call you if I need help. Absolutely. I think it's a lot of different boundaries that people don't have a conversation about. Right. With me, I don't think I've ever really had a full conversation with anyone in my life about what are my boundaries. Well, let me ask you a question before you go. Ma'am. Did you, I'm sorry again, family. Did you know what your boundaries were? Because I think a lot of times we don't say what our boundaries are because we really haven't set them or set them in stone
Right.
or really thought them out. So do you know what your boundaries are?
I know to a certain point.
Okay.
I know what I will and will not tolerate.
Okay.
But once again, it's on the huge scale.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not going to tolerate disrespect.
Right.
I'm not going to tolerate you calling me out my name.
The generic ones. Basically the generic ones, because that's kind of like for everybody.
Yeah, the ones that
right?
that's kind of go across the board.
Right, that you hear, so they became your norm too.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
But as far as actually sitting down and mapping out the boundaries for myself,
for Sanchez,
and really what works for Sanchez,
right,
on an intimate personal level,
right,
I don't think I've ever done that. I don't think I've ever had not even had the conversation with someone else, but I don't think I've ever had that conversation with myself as far as what really are my boundaries, what really are my lines, and not just the thick lines,
right,
but the thin lines as well.
Because then you walk around almost like passive aggressive, being mad about something that someone don't even know what you're mad about, right?
And then I stop talking to people, or I cut people off, or I stop taking phone calls, and they're trying to figure out, well, what did I do?
What happened?
I haven't done anything. I've done my normal,
right?
Not understanding that some of their normal affects me, crosses my boundaries, but I've never given them the opportunity to address it. Right. Because I've never had the conversation.
It's almost I love family members, and I think the world love their family members, but it's like family members who feel the need to tell you what to do in your life,
right,
or in your career, or how to raise children, and you have to set a boundary with that. You know, you have to be like, this is as far as you can go. And I think a lot of times when we don't do that, because I try my best to, because the kids are older, I think I crossed a lot of boundaries with our children. Okay. Because I was mom. Right. Because I said so. You know, not even concerning, but as they got older, they began to tell me that doesn't work anymore. And I think that was their boundary. Like, I'm 20, I'm 21. So I'm not 13 and 14-year-old son or 14 and 15-year-old daughter, but I am adult. So now not telling me what to do, but asking me, will I do it? Or asking me, do I mind doing it, versus thinking that I should do it. I'm kind of like stepping over because boundaries like stepping over the line. Yeah, because I'm
parent. You should no matter what your age is, you should automatically do what I tell you to do, simply because I'm parent. Yes. And not respecting the fact that yes, they're my child, but they're an adult now. Right. They have their own mind. They have their own life. They have their own dreams, their own goals, their own aspirations. And how dare I? Because I would not do that to another. I wouldn't walk in work to a coworker and force my opinion upon them and tell them this is what they're going to do. Barking out orders. But yet I do that to my adult child. Yeah. And I think that was where as the kids got older, that I had to understand that they had boundaries. Right. And so I really am. You gonna be okay, baby? I'm sorry, family. They had boundaries, but not only that I had crossed some of them. Right. And I think I didn't realize that until each one may have got upset with me, and then, you know, like really like stern. I got my feelings hurt because I'm thinking like, this is what I do, this is what I've been doing. Right. And I still got the mindset that they are my children. Yes, but they're adults. And so I crossed the line and I get my feelings hurt. I'm in tears and they looking at me like, but why, Mom? Because you crossed the line. You know, especially my oldest one, he is very much in tune to that. He's very much you're gonna respect his boundaries. You're gonna respect his boundaries. He don't care who you are, you're gonna respect his boundaries. And so I had to learn how to do that. And in retrospect, I had to look, well, do I have those boundaries with them though? Right. Because now you have those with me, but do I have those with you as my children? Do I let you guys cross the line or take advantage or come across or whatever those things are with me as well? So it had me thinking when you just said that. So now I'm thinking like, have I set boundaries now for my adult children, for me as a mom? For now, how you're going to be treated as mom, in this season with adult children. So that's a thought process, Sanchez. I got to really think about that. I think also what happens. That's good. I think that's also really what happens too is that in marriages that, because, and we've talked about this a lot as far as those early ugly conversations. Family, if you listen to the Crenshaw Corner for any extended period of time, you know we believe in those ugly conversations.
Yeah.
Because it's the ugly conversations that brings out the truth.
Yeah.
It's the ugly conversations that allow you to grow and not misunderstanding, not talking about disrespectful conversations, but when we say ugly conversations, we're talking about those vulnerable conversations.
To be vulnerable.
Those conversations that make you feel uncomfortable about the topic, because you're having to truly not only look at your spouse, but really look at yourself as far as why you're doing what you do, why you believe what you believe, why you react the way you react.
Absolutely.
And so I think what happens in a lot of marriages and why they have I like that this is the word of the day, a lot of discourse, is because they don't have that early conversation about boundaries. And correct me if I'm wrong, or if you feel different, I think a lot of the times we don't have those conversations is because most of us are uncomfortable about having boundary conversations for ourselves, because I think a lot of us fall into that category of wanting to please people.
Absolutely.
And because we want to please people, we're afraid to tell them what we want or what we don't want in fear of how they're going to receive it.
Exactly. Especially if it's people that are close to you, right? Because setting boundaries all to the other person, I'll just say from my experience with my kids, when everything happened, it felt like, oh, you don't love me, you don't care, you're not concerned about my feelings, right?
You're selfish.
You're just being selfish, and that's so far not what they were doing. They was just standing their ground and saying, this is what I'm an adult. This is what I'm expecting. This is how I'm expecting you to talk to me. This is how I'm expecting you to treat me. And the crazy part is that's how we raised them. Yet when they did it to me, other than other people, I had an attitude.
You felt some kind of way about it.
Some type of way, and my feelings was hurt.
Right.
So absolutely, I believe that, you don't want to hurt your spouse's feelings. You don't want to be vulnerable in that area. You don't want to not make them happy, or you don't want to say no. You don't want to say this doesn't work for me. You don't want to say the things because you're scared what might happen in your marriage or in your relationship, right? Does that put a damper on that relationship? Does it change the dynamic of the relationship? Has the whole relationship been a lie at that point? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, I understand.
So at that point, you don't want to do that. You say to yourself, okay, let me just swallow this, but this was really, that's a boundary that I just can't do, or I don't feel good with, but you do it because you don't want to say, hey, babe, check this out. That doesn't work for me. Doesn't work for me now. It's not going to work for me later. And then for them to say, since when? Because now you got to explain yourself at that point. Since
because we've never had that conversation.
Really?
I've said this before. Why it is a problem now?
Right.
I've done this before.
Exactly.
Why all of a sudden is a problem now?
Yeah.
And it's because, like you said, because you've never taken the time to have that conversation with the person to say, hey, I don't like this.
Right.
I think also what happens with that is that because we do that, then we become real passive aggressive. And now, because you did something that I don't like, that you don't even realize it, because I never had that conversation with you.
I'm going to hold on to it.
So now I'm internalizing that.
I'm going to hold on to it.
And now I'm holding on to that.
Absolutely.
And now what happens is that resentment starts to build.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
And resentment is going to come out. It may take a month. It may take a year.
Right.
But resentment is going to come out, and now there's a huge blow up, or you're looking at this person different over something that they have no clue why.
What's going on?
And now all you did was say, could you pass me the milk?
Right.
And now a whole big blow up is happening. Now we're having this whole big knockdown drag out, as my grandmother used to say, over you just simply asking me for the milk. But no, it's about because a boundary got crossed 6 months ago that was never addressed.
And I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And I didn't say anything. And I think too, that also comes with self-reflection, because you have to say, so why am I not telling the person that I love what my boundaries are?
Right.
Why am I not explaining to you what's going on with me and what I will and will not take, or what makes me uncomfortable now? And again, your boundaries can change. There's always a foundation for everything, right?
Oh, yeah.
But as you get older, your boundaries, like the boundaries with the children, had to change, right? So your boundaries would change, but you do have to say something. And I think it's best to say something and have that conversation before the something happens, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because when the something happens, like you said, then it's a big blow up. Then it's a big deal. Then it's a huge deal. And we both looking at you like, what? And what just happened?
Yeah, because I put something on you, or I gave you something, or I expected something out of you, but I never had that conversation with you. Because like I said, I go back to, we'll have those big conversations. You know, you can't cheat on me.
Right.
You know, you can't hit me.
Right.
You know, things like that. We'll have those
verbally and mentally abuse me.
We'll have those huge conversations, but the conversation of, you know what, I'm particular about my things. Right. So when I put something down, I expect to be able to find it
or be able to
when
go
I
back
put it
to
down.
It. Exactly.
Right. But what happens is, we don't have those conversations because we think it's too insignificant.
Yeah.
And so we don't have those conversations, even though that's a line for me. That's a boundary for me.
Right.
Because I like my things where I place them.
Yeah. And I think that was a huge thing. And sometimes it still is, sometimes, to be honest, be transparent. Because when I clean up, and he's always like, babe, you know, we never had the discussion that this was a huge issue till it became a huge issue, really. And when I clean up, he has certain things on his dresser. Well, I dust and I put it away and I'll put it somewhere, whatever the case is. And then he'll be like, babe, did you move my stuff? And I'm like, yeah, I dust. I clean up. Don't it look good over there? And he was like, but why did you move my stuff? And I was like, this is my favorite line. He knows it was in the way. It was
in my way.
He was like,
on my side of the room, on my nightstand, that you don't do anything with, but it was in your way.
And so instead of him telling me that really bothered him, he just let it fester and fester. And so I was like, well, I'm sorry, but I was dusting and cleaning, and I left it there. But as time went on, we had this big blow up about, babe, can you please stop touching my stuff? Because I can't find my stuff. I don't want you to touch my stuff. Matter of fact, don't even dust. Because then it became to a point.
Don't even dust.
Don't even dust my side.
Don't even dust. Let it be dusty or dusted. But you don't even come over here.
Let it just be dusty, baby. I don't care if it's piles and piles of dust up to here, babe. Leave it there, you know. And my feelings are hurt. Because I'm like, I'm thinking I'm doing the right thing. I'm dusting, I'm cleaning your area because I'm cleaning the room and blah, 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 blah. Not even thinking, because he told me several times that when I dust, don't move his stuff, and I'm blah, 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 or he can't find his stuff until that one time. And that's when it was like, whoa. Right. And vice versa, the same thing with you. If I'm doing something, I'm like, babe, let me do it because I'm short. This is the thing about this house, because everything is high up, y'all. Everything is high up. And so
it's normal adult height is what it is.
It's just high up.
It's just normal adult height.
So like for our we'll use it because this was one of our things.
Yeah, we have it's not darkness curtains. What is it called? Blackout. We have blackout curtains. Yeah.
And so when we close them, but they're really high up. So what I have to do, literally, guys, is take the drapes and keep going like this to flip it so it can push back.
For the audio family, she's making a jerking motion with her hand. So just so you know what's going on.
It, right? Because when we close it, it goes over this little small piece of the rod, which gets stuck. And so I'm doing it, and I'm like, I'm gonna make this happen. And then he'll just come and like, move, babe, excuse me, baby, just let me and he'll do it. And I never said that frustrated me. I never said it till one day I was like, let me do it.
Yeah, you just screamed on me.
Let me do it. Like, you're not even giving me a chance to do it. And in his mind, he's like, I'm helping you. I see you struggling. I love you. I don't want you to struggle. But in my mind, I feel like you're making me feel like I'm not capable because I'm short to move the blinds or the drapes or whatever. And that became an issue for us, you know, because we never discussed certain things like, let me do what I can do and whatever. So we had to have the conversation to let me do what I'm doing. And if I can't do it, then I'll call you to do it. At that point.
Yeah, because I think what happens a lot of times as well, because I'll go back to it, we think about those big things when it comes to boundaries.
Right.
But for me, and someone may disagree, but I feel like your boundary is whatever affects you. Mm-hmm. If it affects you in a negative way, then that is a boundary for you. Right. And that needs to be addressed. And once again,
absolutely.
No one can tell you your boundary is big or small.
Right. Absolutely.
No one can tell you your boundary is one boundary is more important than another boundary. Or this particular boundary is insignificant.
Right.
No one can tell you that if it affects you, if it has a negative impact on you, because once again, something as simple as rearranging things.
Right.
Where my wife, in her mind, she's being helpful.
Right.
Because she's helping me. She's ensuring that my stuff is put away. She's ensuring that my things, are clean and dust free. Mm-hmm. But in my mind, it's you're taking over because I want to be able to find my stuff where I put it.
Or I like where I like the position, because when you put it back, you don't
put it where I had it.
Right. Exactly.
And so and someone else may hear that and be like, yo, dude, get over that. She's helping you. That's that's so petty for you to get mad about her moving an object. Did she throw it away? Did she take it out the house?
Right.
No, she just put it up in a different place.
Right.
So someone be like, you're overreacting.
Right.
But that affects me. That brings negative, feelings onto me when that happens. So therefore, that's a boundary of mine that we need to have a discussion about.
And the fact that when you're having no discussion, finding out why does that bother you so much? Because I had to find out, well, why does it affect you? Because from you being younger,
right,
and wanting his stuff to be in a certain way and wanting no one to touch his stuff. For me, when I was younger, because I'm short, everybody feel the need to help me do everything. I'm 5'2", people. I got it.
5'2" on a good day, family.
5'2".
5'2" on a good day.
So a lot of that stuff that the boundaries come is because people have crossed your boundaries in your childhood.
Right.
And that really affected you, and you couldn't say that. You didn't have a voice at that time, right? And so what you did is you kept being quiet about it and letting it go and so on. And it just snowballed.
And letting it fester.
And then you become this adult and you're holding on to things that, like, listen, this really bothers me. Like, this is where I draw the line. Let me ask you to help me. Stop messing with my height, So,
but I think, like I said, I'm not
myself up with that one. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
For real.
I'm sorry.
You found that one so funny.
Yes, because I'm 5'2". I don't care what anybody says.
5'2" on a good day.
I'm 5'2".
But like I said, so family, what we're gonna do, because this is a midweek moment, so we're not gonna be before you long.
Yeah, with that.
But I do have a challenge for the family.
You always have a challenge for the family.
Yeah, I like challenging the family.
Yes.
And my challenge is, first of all, have a conversation with yourself about what your boundaries are.
Yeah.
Have a full understanding. And like I said, and because of course we all focus on the big things.
Yeah.
And forget, there are big boundaries, there are little boundaries. There are boundaries with that real big thick line.
Yeah.
And then there's boundaries with the real fine line.
Yeah.
And you have to understand what your boundaries are. And I challenge the married couples, and I challenge the couples.
Yeah.
If you've never had a conversation about boundaries, have that conversation.
Right.
And what I also challenge is that give each other the freedom, the space and the grace. To truly have an open conversation where there's no offense.
Yeah.
Where there's not been offense taken, where you're not taking it personal,
right.
You're not looking at it as a personal attack on you.
Absolutely.
Where honestly, you're not sitting there just contemplating you,
right?
But you're really listening. Yeah, it's not a me, wonderful me, but you're truly listening to your spouse to truly hear their heart as far as what their boundaries are.
Yeah.
And you'd be amazed at how much freedom that gives a person when they know their boundaries are being respected.
Right.
And B, they know they're being heard.
Yeah. And that's
so I challenge you, family.
That's the important part, that you want to be heard, and not only do you want to be, after you've been heard, you want that person to actually put it into action.
Right.
Respect it, so that we don't go back next week and I done moved your stuff. So I don't touch anything, guys.
She's gotten a lot better. She's gotten a lot better.
I'll be looking at the dust. I'll just be like, oh,
dust around it.
Dust around it, people. But you learn and you respect, because that's what they want. They want you to know that you heard and that you take action. Because I think sometimes we can hear stuff and don't take action and just take action on what they're asking you to do. And then again, for me personally, it's like doing soul search. Why is that you're bound? And again, we're not talking about the big things, being slapped and hit. Of course, being cursed out, verbally and mentally abused, we got that. We're talking about the little stuff, because what happens, the little stuff really builds up quick.
It does.
If you're not careful.
It really does.
And you want to have those conversations. That's why I love what he said about being the invisible boundaries, right? Because you have these invisible boundaries, and then you are thinking that your family members, you're getting upset with them about something, or whoever about something that they have no clue about. And you're saying, and this is another thing with boundaries and people crossing it. We always feel like, well, that should just be common sense.
Right.
Like
they should just know.
They should just know. This is common sense would tell you, but a lot of common sense ain't always common.
That's what I was going to say. My grandfather taught me that at a very young age.
Yeah.
Common sense ain't common.
It ain't common.
And also, for the family member, because there's a family member right now who stays mad because they're the go-to person in their family. Because whenever anything goes wrong, whenever anybody needs anything, they're the fixer of the family. They're the ones that always get the phone call. They're the ones that always expect it to get it done.
Right.
But they're angry about it. But you're angry because you never set that boundary.
Right. And you keep answering the phone.
Yeah, you never sat down with your family and said, this is what I will do. This is what I won't do.
Exactly.
Like Big Red said, my office hours are from 9 to 5.
9 to 5.
And if you have to dangle somebody off a balcony to get them to understand that your office hours are from 9 to 5. But you know what? People got mad at Big Red, but Big Red set boundaries.
And you
do you even know what I'm talking about?
Nope. But I'm like,
The 5 Heartbeats.
Oh, okay.
The record producer. Remember? Because the dude and he came was dagging him out his.
Trying to ask him some questions.
Yeah, and he what are my office hours? 9 to 5. Yeah.
Listen.
And sometimes you have to do, and I know that sounds crazy. I know it sounds harsh, but sometimes you have to have those honest and real conversations with your family and tell them, I love you guys.
Yeah.
I care about you guys.
Yeah.
But my office hours are from 9 to 5.
If you want your peace and your sanity.
Yeah.
I want my peace and I want my sanity. He wants his peace. He wants his sanity. And it's just, even if you don't want to tell your family members, guess what? When they call you, have it on your voicemail. Have it on your voicemail, or put your phone on do not disturb if you feel uncomfortable with having that conversation right now.
Start small.
Yes. Put
Start
your phone
small.
on do not disturb. Put it on your voicemail. Whatever you need to do, because right now you may need that for yourself, and you have got to have boundaries for your peace and for your sanity. I really believe that. Yeah. I really believe it.
What's your final thought for the family?
I think that is my final thought.
That's your final thought?
that to have peace and sanity, you have to have boundaries, and you have to, and I'm not talking about you have to explain. That's another thing too. You don't have to explain.
Yeah, no. You don't have to go into great detail.
You ain't got to go to great detail and explain why you are having these boundaries, but you do just need to have them understand this is what works for me, and this is what doesn't work for me. And I just want you to know so we can all be on one accord. Yeah. So I think that's my final thought process.
I'm going to keep my final thought very simple.
I think it's going to say.
It's very simple.
Go ahead,
very
baby.
Simple.
It's always simple, y'all.
Family, understanding when setting your boundaries. You're not setting boundaries for someone else to have peace. You're setting boundaries for you to have peace. Your boundaries are not to protect the outside. Boundaries are to protect the inside.
Yeah, protect you.
When countries and homes set up boundaries and perimeters around their property, they do that not to protect what's on the outside of the fence, but they do that to protect what's on the inside of the fence.
Right, absolutely.
So understand that when you're setting your boundaries, everyone is not going to understand.
Absolutely.
And they don't have to.
And it's okay.
Everyone is not going to agree.
It's okay.
But they don't have to. Absolutely. Because you're not setting the boundaries for them. You're setting boundaries for yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to end on it.
I got one more thing to say.
You always do. You always do. You always have a final essay instead of a final thought. But please, go right ahead.
I know this is going to be very difficult for people pleasers.
Right.
Because a lot of times the reason why we don't set the boundaries or we let it move is because we're trying to people please.
Yes.
So again, what I'm saying to you is if you're a people pleaser, start small. It doesn't have to be like, you know what? I heard the Crenshaws and you know what? This is what's going on.
Forget everybody.
And then next week you change your mind. So what I'm saying is start small for those people pleasers where because I was a people pleaser before. Me and my daughter, actually me and Morgan talked about this before too.
You guys did.
Back in the day about her being a people pleaser. And so when her friends or anybody would ask her something, she would do it even if she didn't want to do it.
And most of the time she did not want to
do it. And we would used to have to tell her, you can say no. Even to us, no. If it's something that, not in a disrespectful way, but if it's something that you don't want to do, you can definitely say no.
You can have the
Speak up
conversation
for yourself.
Especially as an adult.
As an adult, and she's an adult. So that's huge for you to do. So for the people pleasers, again, you can do not disturb, turn off your phone, whatever it takes to keep your sanity and your peace.
Put your out of office on.
You got out of office.
Yeah. So family.
Guys,
thank you for listening. We did. We actually kept it to a moment.
Wow.
We really did. I am so impressed.
I'm impressed.
Family, we thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
We thank you for listening. However you're listening,
so
whether it's on
much.
iTunes, whether it's Podbean, whether it's Spotify, whether it's Amazon Music, whether it's Google Podcasts, whether it's iHeartRadio, or on our own personal website at www.thecrenshawcorner.com. We thank you for watching us on our YouTube channel, The Crenshaw Corner. Please make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, and click that notification bell to be notified when new videos are uploaded.
See, I did ding this time.
You did ding this time.
I ding this time.
And as always, we consider ourselves an interactive podcast.
Yes.
We can be found on the socials. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook, all in the Crenshaw Corner.
Yes.
And of course, you can email us at any time at thecrenshawcorner@gmail.com. Once again, thecrenshawcorner@gmail.com.
I like when you say that for some reason.
And as always, family, welcome to our journey.
We love you guys. Bye.